Alright, I know you all been missing me. You've been saying, where's Porter? Where's the videos? What's going on? Alright, so I took some time away, of course, it made logical sense, you know, with everything going on with my wife. And I just said I didn't want to do any videos, I haven't been inspired to do any videos, I really didn't feel like doing any videos. And I kept saying, oh, you know, as a company, I'm kind of having these issues. I'm like, oh, what do I want to work on? What do I want to do? And so then I went back into my goodie bag of stuff, because any good publisher, you got a goodie bag of stuff you want to do. So I went back and I said, dun 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 dun, Cross the Fire, gonna bring it back out. Bring it back. Sounds crazy? Yes, it is. And of course, for those who don't know, and apparently you don't read this blog, but if you did know, you'd know what Cross the Fire is. But this is my, I don't even know if it's an homage to. It's a adventure path I thought about doing years ago. When I say years, I mean like decades ago. That basically had Mind Flayers, Drow, Githyanki, and Undead, and that was like the big focal point. And there's a whole big story, but I'm not ruining it now, so I'm not telling you. So I've updated now since, you know, Githyanki and Mind Flayers are not IP, so I said, okay, let's do our own version of that. Oh, she's kind of cute. See? Cute girls everywhere. I love Florida. So, see how distracted I became? So I added the Fenric, I'm going to say it wrong again, Scourge, I'm horrible at that. And for the replacement for the Githyanki, I decided to go with a race that I've started building with our, I guess this is our Starjammers Birthright kind of crossover product. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to call it. Pirates of the Bronze Sky. It was pulp pirates for Pathfinder. That was the whole thing, you know. But pirates are cool. Let's just, you know, pirates are cool. And sky pirates are even cooler. Dude, it's sky pirates. Why would it not be cooler? So that was the main focus of that. So I bought a race that we built in there. These four-armed. Well, first of all, let me give you the whole big pitch. These four-armed Scottish, wait for it, gun-toting, wait for it, Rhino men. That's right. I said, maybe you didn't hear me, maybe you didn't understand what I said. These four-armed Scottish Rhino men with muskets and guns and stuff like that. And of course, for when I was thinking about this years ago, guns were still not developed for Pathfinder, and they're kind of, you know, done in a lot of different ways in 3.5. But due to the gunslinger, guns are now readily available. And this kind of made me even cooler, because I'm like, oh great, I can finally do my Scottish four-armed Rhino men, which we call the Calathon. I don't even know how I came up with that name, some kind of way. I don't know. I don't remember, but it's just the name of it. So we got that going on. So they're going to play the role of the Githyanki. So basically, since I'm also going to tie it into Pirates of the Bronze Sky, I'm going to have a large, very large, flying ship crash into the area of this urban city where they have now, I guess, what would you call it? They've taken over. See, I don't want to ruin the adventure, because it's important. You know, this is the third part of the adventure. Basically, there's a city that this ship is landed in. There's some issues going on there, and there's some going with the Calathon, and it's kind of cool. And I think it's going to be cool to see. I think people are going to enjoy it. I think it's going to also be very much of a meat grinder. I think people are going to like it. I think this is going to make another great choice on doing Cross the Fire. And also with that, this weekend, Sunday, since today's Tuesday, this weekend I talked to Christina Stiles, and we're talking over what we're looking for, and which I have to do and I have not done, and it's all my fault. I've got to call Stephen Helt and tell him, you know, yeah, he's on this, and get Christina on this, and get everybody on the same page. That's my fault. 100% my fault, you know. The reason also with it too is, like I said, we plan to have the Drow as, I guess, the villains of the second one. But the problem is, you know, when you use Drow and stuff, there's already a perception of what they can be and what they are and what you assume and things like that. It's already preset. And, you know, I'm a big believer in, you know, trick people by giving them, you know, when you hear the sound of, you know, horses in the back, like, say if you're just listening to something, you just hear some horses. You automatically think horses. You don't think zebras. So that's the kind of switch I like to do. It's like, oh, I thought it was this, but it really was this. And, you know, that's what you kind of want to do. You want to give them what they think it is, and then, well, I guess screw them over. That's what I'd say. Screw them over in a good way for the adventure. So I think that could be kind of cool. Good Lord. You leave work late, you get a lot of traffic. I don't like this. So, what other cool stuff? Yeah, so, and also we've been getting in artwork from the Kale-a-thon. The original artwork was done by Anthony Courier. I think I'm pronouncing it right. He's a French-Canadian artist who worked for me for several years. Now Anthony, I know, is doing video game work up in Canada. I know he's doing a lot of that right now, which is, you know, it's good for him. I wish you'd come back. I wish you'd come back, Anthony, and do more artwork and do more stock art, because everyone loves your stuff. Shaman Stock Art is Anthony, if you've ever used any of his stuff. Very good artist, tons of good stuff. Like I said, I wish you'd do more. I mean, if you did more, I'd buy more. I'd buy more in a second. I mean, it's good art. Why would I not buy it? So, I'm hoping he'll come back one day and do it. Maybe. I think I'm low at this. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, so I'm hoping one day he'll come back. But then I talked to my man Alex, and I said, hey Alex, and Alex has done, I guess, all the really artwork that everyone falls in love with and says, oh, this is amazing. Alex has usually done this. From, good Lord, SI Major, actually SI Magnar from Obsidian Apocalypse. He just did the Scourge's new Worm one that I'm sure you probably have seen, and the new Kale-a-thon one we're doing painting. What else did he do? He's done a bunch. He's done, I think, the majority. Was, yeah, the Patan from Neo Exodus he did. Did he do the new Permidian? I can't remember anymore. I have to check that. But he's done a lot of work, so he's my go-to character design guy. He's got a great price, and he's really reasonable. And when I say reasonable, it's like, oh my god, it's amazingly reasonable. And he's one of my favorite artists to use. I think his art is what you want for a character design art piece. You want it to be powerful, you want it to be amazingly done. And you want people to basically, oh, he's the one who did the two images of the Prometheans from the new races of Obsidian. He did both of them. He did both of them. Did he do anything else? No, just both of them. The Flesh and the Clockwork version, yeah. And if you've seen the new Clockwork Promethean, which is amazing, it's an amazing piece. I love that piece. And don't get me wrong, the Frankenstein, and that's what we're calling her, Frankenstein girl, that's a good piece. I mean, well, not good. That's a great piece. Who am I kidding? But they're solid pieces. That's the kind of artwork you want to do. I mean, I'm a big believer in the artwork has to be phenomenal. A little hot in here. It's hot in here in Florida. And I mean, the artwork's phenomenal. That will help people get interested. I think, you know, that's always the first step. Oh, let me look at the artwork. Whoa, this is really kind of cool. You got them hooked. Right? That's what you want to do. You want people to look at the piece to get them interested in what you're talking about. And you know, and do it in color. If I haven't told you all, do it in color. Spend the money for color. What you're paying for black and white, spend, you know, the double to get it in color. Because color, black and white's nice. Color's better. You know, some people are like, well, I like black and white. Yeah, but color is better. You don't see shows in black and white. Why? Because we have color. They can do shows in black and white, Sin City, well, movies, Sin City, but still, there's some color in there. Because color is nicer, at least in my opinion. But if you're smart, put some color in your stuff. You know, spend a little money, it'll be worth you in the long run. There's a lot of third-party publishers that I know that have done basically black and white because they say, oh, that's all I can afford. Dude, there's tons of guys out there who are willing to work for color for reasonable prices. Trust me. If I told you so many people I've gotten for color, you'd be like, that's impossible. You know, go out there, make a reasonable offer. People accept it, and even better, pay them. You know, if you pay like me, and I don't mean, like I said, I don't pay a lot, but I pay the second I get the art. It's like, oh, I get the art, here's your money. And people usually say the same thing. Oh, thanks. I didn't even gotta wait 3 or 4 months. I'm like, nah, man. Get the artwork in, pay the money. That's how people want to work with you. That's how they'll be flexible with prices because they know, even like say they take 25% off the cost. they don't have to wait 4 months for the check. They turn the stuff in, they get the check. Turn the stuff in, get the check. Turn the stuff in, get the check. It's a winning bid, and you should be doing that. So, all right, now back to I was gonna say pirates. Back to Cross of Fire. Here's an interesting thing that happened. This is kind of the opposite of what I just told you. I had an artist who I've worked with before. I worked with him on several projects before. A good artist, reasonable guy. I'd love to do his work, and I thought, it's a solid guy. I said, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do some, I guess, items, magic items for this upcoming Kickstarter for Cross of Fire. He's like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. Hey, we worked together before, no problem. Hey, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what I'm looking to get. I was looking to get, I'll just tell you, I was looking to get a quarter-page picture of 2 magical items. That's it. 2 magical items. Realistically, it shouldn't cost more than $25. That's the most. If you base a quarter-page image, the entire thing is $100, $25. That's reasonable. It's not, that's what it should have been. He came back with a number that actually kind of shocked me. He's like, no, I'm going to have to charge you. And I said, and I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what I paid, but I'll tell you. Because it's not really that big a deal. It's all right. I had them go do these crosses, $20 a cross. These are one of them. These are magic items. These crosses I'm going to do. He's like, no, I can't do them from that cheap. I've got to do them for, wait for it, $100 a quarter page. And I'm like, I'm sorry. What? Because I got to do them for $100 quarter page. I can't do them any cheaper. My time is very valuable now, and that's what I've got to. That's what I got to do them for. Now, remember, full page $100 is reasonable. That's what you expect. He was expecting $400 a page. That's kind of $400 a page for a piece of art. Well, okay, that's a nice number to have in your head. I'm not going to pay it. I'm not paying it. You must be kidding. What time is it? Oh, 12 minutes. You must be crazy. I'm not going to pay that. That's a crazy amount. That'd blow my budget. There's tons of guys who are more than happy to go out there to do a magic item, quarter page, $20, $25. Boom. It's not a lot of work. Doesn't take forever. I'm not let's go back and do it again. Let's go back. I'm not that guy. So, once, basically I give you all the stuff you'll need, and here's some sample stuff you should look at for inspiration. Go. You bring it back to me. I'm like, okay, let's change 1 or 2 things here. Okay, go. Come back. Okay, let's get the coloring. Go. Done. And we're done. That's it. That's the process. That is my process. For all you guys wondering, like, how does he do it? That's it. That was it. Rewind this. Listen to it again. That is exactly it. There's nothing else I'm doing. Ta-da. And this guy, wanted to raise his rates by a factor of 5. And I'm like, well, thanks for the offer. I don't think that's going to be possible. And we parted ways. And I thought to myself, wow, I really loved his artwork. I really would have loved for him to work with me. But now, he's in my mental list of don't waste time calling. And that's the sad part, because the artwork was solid. Wow, amazingly solid. But I'll never use them again, ever. There's too many guys out there who want work or want it for a reasonable price and willing to do a good job. I'll tell everybody my favorite guy, and I'm going to be promoting him again, Lance Red. Lance Red has, wow, these people are in the red light. Lance Red has done a ton of great stuff for me. Like a ton of great stuff. And I'll tell you, he's incredibly professional. Not even incredibly, amazingly professional. I can't think of a more professional guy to work with. And I'll tell you, eventually he's going to work for Paizo. I know he's eventually going to work for Paizo. He's like Justin Rainville. Somebody right now who's good. You give him a year or so, he's going to be great. And everybody's going to be talking about how great of an artist is. You can quote me on that one. I've seen his art progress even from when he started with me. He's going to be one of those kind of these artists. And like I said, I'm going to have a lot of originals that I'm very, very happy with that look very, very cool. So when he has this big thing, becomes famous, he can go, hey, there's the guy who gave me a start, Louis Porter Jr. I'd be like, yeah, there I am, baby. Hey, go with the fame. The fame works, hey, I'm all for it. I think his artwork is amazing. He's going to be doing some pieces for Cross of Fire. Actually, he's going to be doing a lot of pieces for Cross of Fire. But, you know, that's... The other guy had an opportunity to make some money. He chose to want too much, which was unrealistic. And, you know, he lost probably, I'd say, a potentially good and lucrative guy who, you know, pays for artwork. You know, very reasonable. I mean, I'm paying for artwork all the time because we're doing artwork.